What's going on, pizza delivery man?
Hey man, you like that pizza I brought you?
Man, that pizza was good. I mean, but I saw you when you were walking up from the window, and you had that pizza in one hand, and you were carrying it like a true Italian.
Well, it is true that Italians owned my family when they first were brought over here. No, that's not true. But it's funny you get to laugh at me like that after seeing you the other day at Horrible Bosses, where you came in holding 3 or 4 pizzas like a waiter at Luigi's restaurant.
That is
yet,
true.
what's funny about it is that they were all for you.
That is true. You ain't got nothing on my pizza carrying skills right there.
It's one of those like, oh, Corey finally made good on that dinner he was going to buy us all.
Yeah.
No, it's all for him.
I made good for me.
Yeah. Hey, here's that pizza I bought you, but I'm going to eat it, and I will tell you how good it was.
But I'm doing it for you. I am the Jesus of pizza. I ate for your sins. Pizza's not good for you. Yeah, man, you had that. When I saw your legs at first. And here comes Leon. And then you came around with that box, and I was like, man, he looks like you look like you were destined to deliver pizzas.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just saying, if this whole spill thing don't work out and that other little job you got,
Please, man.
jobby job.
I would be a pizza delivery guy like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2, where I just get fired on the second day for no good reason. Honestly, of all the shitty jobs I've had, pizza delivery has not been one of them.
So you've never had a pizza delivery job?
Never, ever.
Don't knock it, man. Don't knock it too much.
Look, I know the movies tell me that if I do that, I'm going to get laid by some hot MILFs, but I don't think that's true.
No, that never happens. I mean, the reason why I say don't knock it is because I used to, people who know anything about Corey Lore knows that have heard me talk about my days of delivering fajitas.
I never knew you did that.
Oh, yeah.
I know so much about you. I never heard that.
You never heard that? Mm-mm. Out of all these years, out of almost 20 years, you never heard me talk about it?
I've never heard that, no.
Wow, man. How did that not get ever brought up?
I don't know. When did you deliver fajitas?
When I was 16.
Oh, okay.
Back in Waco.
Okay.
I've talked to co-hosts about this many times. We had a long talk about the thing you're talking about, delivering and expecting that porno scenario to come up. Because we were talking about, okay, so I delivered fajitas in Waco. I delivered all around Waco. And it was one of those deals where you could actually, because if you took out enough boxes, they didn't give a shit. It wasn't that 30 minutes or less. It's like you get it when you get it, goddammit. That was our motto.
You show up the next day. Hey, man, I got your fajitas. Yeah, if you spray it with Raid, the flies will go away. It's still good. Don't worry about it. Maggots on it. Hey, that's just extra protein, baby.
Man, do you know in France they got cheese with maggots on it? That's just a condiment right there. Enjoy. Bon appetit. But, man, we delivered all around Waco, and we took out enough boxes. People just got this shit when they got it. Because some days, like especially on Saturday nights, we get so packed with orders. So, we would take like about 5 or 6 orders out, and they had to be delivered all around town. And so unless you strategically plan that shit, on a map, which you didn't always have time to do.
Right.
After a while, you knew like, okay, if I hit this part first, I could actually, make my way. Look, either way it goes, somebody's gonna be mad by the time that 5th or 6th order came around.
Hell yeah. I mean, especially since fajitas are usually cooked in lard, so if you got them like at room temperature, they have all that white caked on Crisco in them.
Oh no, our boxes were designed to keep the freshness packed inside.
You a goddamn lie.
At least that's what I told people. Yeah, I remember one time there was a woman who was, you could tell that she had been hungry. And she called, and this was a college student. And she, because she was in there with a friend, they were watching movies, and she called like, oh, we gonna get some fajitas. Hold on, I'll be right here, because really the campus setup we worked at was like it was like right next to the restaurant.
They're there watching Chocolat, just getting hungry.
just getting hungry, watching Big Night. Fajita the movie. And I decided to go to start at the far end of town and work my way back. Yeah. And by the time her order came in, that movie was almost done. They were sort of that mad. And how mad you get? She was probably extra mad because she was hungry, So she was probably, what do you call those people who need to eat? If they don't, then they get crazy.
Have low blood sugar?
Something like that.
Hypoglycemic.
Yeah, hypoglycemic. Yeah, maybe she was hypoglycemic, and she was sitting up there getting pissed and angry, and I went up to the door and she answered it, and she didn't. I said, "Hey, man, fajitas are here," and she just looked at me and there was no greeting. You could tell she just wanted to like pay me and get me the fuck out.
Wow.
And she opened that box and she looked down and she's like, "And we asked for chicken. This is beef." Oh. And I was just like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. The person who," and she just shut that box and just slammed the door in my face.
Damn. Did she pay you?
Well, no. What I did was, when it was done, I immediately went to a payphone because back then there were no cell phones.
Uh-huh.
So went to a payphone and said, "Hey, Pop, you want some fajitas? You hungry, man?" He's like, and my dad was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, what you got?" I was like, "Man, I got some of these fajitas for you." "Do you like chicken?"
So she didn't even take them.
Oh no, she didn't take them. She took it and shoved it right back in my hands.
Oh damn!
And slammed the door in my face. Yeah, she didn't take them. No, she gave them right back to me and just kind of just left me on my own. And then called Domino's or something. And I told my dad, I was like, "Hey, we got fajitas tonight for dinner." I felt like the provider for the family that night.
I'll let you look at you like, "You know what? You cute, and I was gonna fuck you. But now I'm too hungry." Slam.
Shit, I'll fuck these fajitas. And then we'll eat them. But then, we had a woman that worked at the bar, and she was on like she was on a local, the local station.
Yeah.
At night they did like public domain horror movies and whatnot. So she was like an Elvira type chick.
Oh, okay.
But she wore that sexy black stuff and
yeah, was she hot like Elvira?
She didn't have the cleavage that Elvira had. I mean, who does,
Right,
but
right.
Even Dolly Parton look at that shit and be like, "Damn, girl, you need to reduce that shit." But she worked up at the bar, and everybody knew that she was on that channel at night, and she didn't get paid for anything like that. Or she got paid very little,
right?
But she was just hot, And being a teenager working there, everybody was trying to, people even lying about it. Like there was this dude that I forgot his name, but he wouldn't. This guy I hated because on my way to school every morning, one day he stood out there in the parking lot. And I can't whistle like this, but he was able to whistle loud. Like one day I heard like that, And I was just like, I thought he was in trouble or something. So I turned around and thought like, oh, he must have missed a bus or something. And I picked him up. And then when he got the car, he was just kind of like, "All right, man, see you tomorrow, right?" And he was a big dude. I was just kind of like, "Well, that means I got to get up a little early." And he's like, "All right, man." I remember even telling him like, "Well, man, I gotta get up a little earlier." And he's like, "Oh, well, that's nice of you to do that, man." I was just like, "Oh shit."
No, white man. Okay.
But one day he worked at the restaurant too. He was like, I forgot what he worked in the back where he unloaded shrimp and shit like that because they had boxes of shrimp. And he would work as a bar back or bus boy, and he worked in the back unloading shit. And he told me one day and this is a big old fat Albert looking dude, ain't nobody trying to get with him. And he told me one time, he's like, "Hey man, you know that chick that's on TV work at the bar?" Like, "Yeah." She's fine as hell, ain't she? I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, she is." And he was like, "Yeah, man, I remember being out. I was in the freezer one day, and she was in there, and she let me put my fingers up, man." I was like, "Man, stop!" I just thinking to myself, stop fucking lying, man.
I honestly don't understand pathological liars, like what they get out of it. Like, okay, I know they like maybe they get to fool you and make you think more than what they are.
Yeah.
But deep in their heart, they know it's not real.
And it's not real. Now, I didn't say anything out loud. I was just like, "Really?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, man."
Yeah, somebody does it. You have to just kind of go along with them.
But here's the deal. I knew he was lying, and still, and in my mind, I was saying, "Man, shut the fuck up," until he said, "Yeah, man, you should talk to her because, she a freak like that. She just want guys to, just kind of come up on her and everything." And I was just like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, shit, you ever get alone by yourself? Just put that thing on her, man." I was just like, okay. And then one day we got the call to deliver fajitas over to her place.
Yeah.
And I actually had the box, and they're like, "Oh shit, you going over to her house?" And everybody know ain't nothing gonna happen. But in my mind, I was thinking like, "Yeah, boy, I got the magic fajita box." And I went over there. My fucking 16-year-old stupid ass brain went over there and she and she must have got used to guys coming over to the door, you know.
Sure.
And because she answered and she paid and she smiled like you ain't getting shit and shut the door. And I stood there staring at that door for about 3 minutes, waiting for that shit to open back up. And that door never opened. The next day, that guy was waiting outside. I just drove past. No, I didn't. That's not true. I stopped and picked that dude up. But I almost want to ask him, like, man, I've waited and nothing happened. I was by myself.
Man, you know, he was just like, oh, I guess she didn't like you, player. You ain't got no game. That's the problem.
Man, you know, and it was a perfect setting too, because it was like around like 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was dark outside. She answered like in shorts, you know, not like ass huggers, but you know, like shorts to like, well, you know, shit. When you that fucking age, man, and you
anything you see, it's a gold mine to you, and it's walked away. You walk away going, she wanted it. If she didn't want it, she would have wore jeans
exactly.
and sweatpants.
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, she was showing me her leg and everything.
Yeah, you know.
Like, she was comfortable in her own house? No, man. I mean, she knew I was coming to the door with fajitas. She called for the fajitas. So that tells you right there. She was giving me the signal.
Yeah, you know.
I just didn't want to follow up on that shit.
Yeah.
I ain't like that.
And I went back, you know, and in my mind I was like, shit, what am I going to tell the fellas back at the place? You know, nobody gave a shit. You know, I was all nervous to go back. I got to have a story. Call me, get these fajitas, man.
Man, you'd gone back with a story, and that guy who told you I would have the first one going like, you lying sack of shit.
Yeah, man, and you don't want to lie in a place like that anyway, because the boss there, he was a cool guy, but he didn't fuck around with his business. I forget, it was run by two brothers, and one of them they started calling Batman.
Why?
Because there was this cook there.
Yeah,
and that dude was cool, man. Him and I used to joke around, and we used to have fun, and he wasn't there one day, and I was like, what happened to, I forgot his name. I was like, what happened to that dude? And they were like, oh, man, you didn't hear? I was like, no, man, what? He's like, he got fired. He got fired last night. And I said,
shit.
What'd he do? And he said, shit, he was taking boxes of shrimp, and the boss was up on the ceiling watching him do it the whole time. He let that dude pack all that shit up, and before he drove off, in my mind, he swooped down on the car, going somewhere.
What is that movie? There's some movie where some guy with a boss like works at a restaurant, and the boss is confronting him, and he's like, well, I didn't do nothing. And then the boss jumps up on him and cuts his clothes open and finds out he's been stealing steaks. Like he's got him wrapped up in his clothes.
What movie? Shit. That sounds familiar, man.
Somebody knows what movie I'm talking about. I want to say Alan Arkin is in it. There's somebody. I can't quite picture it, but it's someone, they cut his clothes open. The guy's been stealing steaks the whole time. But it's funny you mentioned Batman, because it reminds me of one of these things from the Batman cartoon from the 60s, where Batman tells this whole thing. And it always stuck with me. But he's like, you know, there was a week where every night somebody saw this guy stealing a wheelbarrow full of sawdust from a construction site. And nobody said anything.
Oh, was that where you got that story from Batman?
Yeah, he said nobody said anything until they realized he was stealing wheelbarrows.
Well, I guess my boss at the time read that Batman comic because he waited. Yeah, they said he was. And somebody mentioned, like, I don't know how they knew this, but they said, yeah, he was up on the roof just smoking, you know, just watching them the whole time on the roof.
You know, it is sad. Like anybody who has a business has employees. Somebody that you employ is stealing from you.
It's sad. Yeah, it is sad.
But
man.
It's like in every case, even if you go like, not me, I know my employees. I take them out on the weekends. I hired my friends. I ain't worried about it. Sorry, dude. Somebody that works for you is stealing from you.
Somebody's always going to get you know, it's too tempting.
Yes.
The temptation is there to do it. I hear about so many people who were like stealing from the cash register.
Oh, yeah.
Know, and all, and employees that they trusted.
Yeah.
You know,
and some bosses just know it and just go like, hey, that's just the price of doing business. What you going to do?
It is, but at the same time, I'm thinking like with cameras today and everything, like who's stupid enough to do that? And somebody always is.
Well, look at it this way. Who's stupid enough to do that? But then who has the time to look through all the footage that a camera is taking?
Yeah, that is true, man. What the hell?
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. That's co-host want to know if he can go to as +1 to Harry Potter.
Fuck no.
Okay.
No. Co-host, you talk too much shit about the last one.
Sure did talk shit about the last one.
So no, you do not.
Did he
get to
text
go.
you too or something?
No. It's a different text.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I thought it was him. It's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
I'm only checking my phone because I sent out a message on Twitter saying like, hey, it's ACOCO time. Ask us questions.
Oh, did you get some good tweeters or tweets?
I have gotten some, but nothing that has set me on fire just yet.
Oh, okay.
But it'll happen.
Hey, man, we got around another 45 minutes to go.
Hell yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry about it.
No, it's gonna come together.
Sound like you just telling yourself that to make yourself kind of, yeah, it's gonna be okay.
I know, I'm sweating. Like, come on, ask me those good questions. No, not a Spy Kids question. For Christ's sake, what are you doing?
How many Spy Kids questions do you get?
Well, I just got the one.
Oh, okay.
Just asking me what I think about Smell-O-Vision.
So,
I'm like, well, all those movies have stank so far, so I think Smell-O-Vision is kind of redundant at this point.
Thank you. I just took a shit this morning. I think I smelled that movie already. Man, I appreciate your I wanted to hang out with you last night.
Yeah. I was sorry you couldn't make it out.
Yeah, I had a family reunion to go to. I mean, thank you for coming over today. I was nervous about you coming over because I had just woke up. I was tired.
I could tell that in your voice. That's why I was like, I could go home and do this or make it later.
No, I wasn't gonna put you through all that. No, they had our family reunion in San Antonio, and it was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. But I didn't have to sit through all that boring shit that they do.
You didn't have to sit through the family games.
I don't do that shit, man.
The Colemans versus the Hatfields.
Yeah, man, I don't do that. And I'm confused about this because this is one of those family reunions that I don't know anybody there.
Man, see, that's why I hate going to family reunions because most of my family that I know, I stay fairly well in touch with them, or they're in Houston where I go visit a bunch. But when we drive out to Tunis, Texas, population 513,
yeah,
and I'm going like, okay, that's your cousin right there, and that's your other one right there. I'm like, I don't know them. I don't care.
I don't know this person. Yeah,
it's like this information is only good in as much as it tells me who I can't hook up with.
Yeah, that's what I hate about that.
And looking over at him, that was never really in jeopardy to begin with.
Man, brother, it's amazing you should bring that point up because this is a side of the family that I don't know anything. Like, my mother's maiden name is not in there anywhere. I'm not gonna say a name out there because somebody trying to look this shit up. Somebody already. I mentioned one thing at spill.com and people already put that shit on the internet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's nothing I was really bothered about, but motherfuckers they searching now. Every little bit of information you put out there, people looking at it. So,
well, you know what? I mean, it's only, I guess, I don't want to say it's a matter of time before it happens, but I can say, like, man, I feel like we have just like the coolest fans ever, and especially after Spill.com, I'm like, wow, man, our fans are awesome.
Yeah.
But every year we do this, the more trolls seem to slip past the gate.
And trolls / detectives.
Dark Knight Returns. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to call you. All you're going to do is come on and insult us.
I like that dude, though.
Well, he's creative, but there's just other people who are like, wow, man, you really took time out of your day to tell us what assholes we are because we didn't like the same movie you did.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, that's the price of growth, I guess. Is even Dark Knight, at least he's creative with his shit.
Yeah. Somewhat.
So, yeah, he, I knew he was copying that because that thing you're talking about being creative with all the symbols and whatnot.
Like other people
I've seen that symbol before. I mean, that done before. I've seen the face palm one. I've seen the finger one that he puts up. But I just like the way he just. I don't know if he's just joking now, if he's still angry. Like last week on this, when we did this recording, he came back and he put those symbols, giving up the finger again. He's like, "Yeah, who wants fucking chicken dinner now?" I was like, I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means. You should have been this for Charlie Sheen's website.
Yeah. Where the fucking chicken dinner? Fuck you, man. I was like, what's wrong with you? But it's funny. I just laughed because he has to be joking now. I was just like, I suppose you can't be this fucking fuck it, man. I mean, really, I'm chalking this up to entertainment value now.
Yeah.
Like, I hope, because if he is still mad about this, he needs some therapy. I mean, he needs some anger management or something going on.
For sure.
But that dude,
or ass whipping, one of them.
well, you know, I'll for the ass whooping myself.
But let's try that first.
Yeah, that's a little bit cheaper. Because, yeah, I'm going to get back to this family reunion thing because I already brought it up. But I was going to tell you, no, there's some people who do need just an ass whooping.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Because, look, you know me, I ain't no tough guy or nothing. But
Until you get drunk?
Until I'm drunk, then I get on all kind of bullshit. But I was hanging out at this new bar in town. I'm not going to say the bar's name because this is a story that could give them some kind of bad publicity, even though it's a cool place.
Okay.
But when I was in there was this, the owner was there, and then there was this other guy who had done, I'll take you to that bar sometime. He did all this cool art on the wall, all this decorating and everything. Yeah. So since he had done that, the owner was just kind of like, well, hey man, you know, come on in and drink. This is what I was able to piece together. And that dude would have, for the story at the end of the night, when all this bullshit went down, I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. This dude came in and drank all day. All day.
The artist?
The artist, yeah.
Okay.
The artist drank all day. And the bartender who owns the place, when that guy got ready to leave, he saw him stumbling towards the door, and he's told him, and they're friends apparently.
Okay.
And he said, hey man, you know, I'm obligated, not just as a friend, but, you know, just as a bar owner, to not let you drive out of here.
Yeah.
And of course, he's one of those dudes like, I'm gonna drive no matter what. I'm just gonna be an asshole because I've been drinking and I can't. So everything you tell me, I'm going to tell you the opposite of.
Yeah.
He could have told him, you know, look, man, blue, and the guy would have said red. You know, it's just like he was just in the mood to argue.
Yeah.
And so he tried to walk out of there. At first, it started like, because I was with some friends, and they were like, yeah, man, like that guy looked like he's getting out of control. And I was just like, man, let's just mind our own business. You know, apparently, you know, the bar, and I didn't know they were friends at the time. The bartender got it settled. All right, I mean, you know, he looks like he's already got his phone in his hand and everything, but that guy just got louder and louder. And, you know, for the first time I turned around, he was doing that, like, would you please let me by, you know, that kind of friendly thing. Turned back around, and I saw his fists were clenched, and shit. His face was turning red. He had that looked like he, you know, his mouth was stretched. Get out of my way, you know, looked like Clint Eastwood. Let me by, you know. And I was like, oh,
he sounds like Bo when you take him to a titty bar.
Yes, yeah, something like that. And it was like, yeah, he was, you know, I was just like, man, you know, just fuck it, man, they'll get it settled. And finally, the girl in the group got up and ran outside. She's like, oh, shit, look at what's happening. And the guy was like pushing the other guy, and I was just like, fuck, man. I was just like, and so everybody got up and it was just like, okay, you know, once the girl in the group gets up, you know, everybody else can't be pussied out, you know.
It's funny how that is, because we'll sit around just watching, you're like, I'm gonna see this shit go down. But yeah, if a girl says up like, somebody wants to do something, you're like, all right.
Girls will get your ass beat, man, because they'll be the one that's up there and say, hey, because that happened last night at the class reunion. I mean, at the family reunion. But anyway, you know, girls be like, hey, you stop it, and you know, the guy turns like, oh, what, you know. What you gonna do? You either gonna let the girl just be talked to like shit, or you gonna jump in? I mean, there ain't shit you can do. By this point, you up there like, hey man, you can't talk to her like that. But deep down, he's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, it's like Sarah Silverman in Way of the Gun. You're like, God damn it, would you just shut up, please?
Yeah. But it was cool. He went out there because that drunk dude actually swung at the guy, and the guy backed off just in time before he got hit. Now, in my mind, like I said, I ain't no tough guy, and this guy, so don't even think I was out there like, you know, just, hey man, you stop this right now. You know, the dude was not a big dude, and I'm not saying this like, you know, yeah, I was about to knock that motherfucker. It wasn't like that. I told the guy, because other people came out there and they were trying to hold the guy down. He was so crazy, and his friend is like, the bartender's like, yeah, that's a friend of mine. I just don't want him to go to jail. And I was like, well, if you don't want to go to jail, here's a solution. Let one of us just knock him the fuck out. Let him go home and sleep it off.
Right.
Because he ain't no big dude.
Yeah.
And I've seen this. I was like, he will thank you in the morning. He'll be like, I don't know why my face hurts. But,
Right. Wait, what happened last night?
Yeah, but he'll wake up in his own bed. And of course he was like, I can't do that. And by this time, there's 5 guys holding this guy down to the ground. Because if they let him up, all he's gonna do is go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gone, man. I was like, I said, if you don't want to knock him out, then he's going to go to jail. I said, you mark my words. And sure enough, but when we were walking out of there, yes, we saw those fucking lights pull up.
Oh,
and I looked at that guy and I was just like, hey man, I wasn't saying I was going to be the one to do it. I said, somebody just needs to knock him in his fucking face. It's like, even if it don't knock him out, it'll get him tame.
Yeah. That wake up call, that attitude adjustment, that like you get hit square in the face by another man. You're like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I seem to have gone off the rails here. Thank you for realigning my priorities. If it's all the same to you, gentlemen, I will be off.
Good evening.
I will bid you a fond adieu.
Yeah, it'd be funny how you pulled out that top hat and that monocle all of a sudden. Yeah, man. Yeah, that dude ended up going to jail, and I imagine he just put him in the drunk tank. But I mean, if the police see you being that belligerent, they're not gonna go easy on you like the average drunk.
True.
That's more than just a PI. They could ask that guy, did he swing at you or anything? And if they say yes, it's like, hey, we can get him for assault too.
I remember once it was like the middle of the night and banging on our door at home and open it. It's one of our neighbors, a young girl in our neighborhood. She's like, hey, your dad, he drove his truck into the ditch. You might want to come get him. We're like, oh shit, is it down? He's like, it's right down the street. I'm like, all right, we'll come get him. Say, we already called the police. I was like, shit, what you do that for? So we had to hurry up, run, pull him out of his truck, drag him back home, and get him like on our side of the, on our property. So when the police got there, they like, sure, the truck's over there, but he's at home. It's like he's on base. Like, there wasn't shit they could do. They were like talking to him, and they knew, you could see in their face, they're like, damn, we can't do nothing. We didn't find him drunk in this vehicle.
Yeah.
And they were about to leave, and then he just piped up with like, yeah, you motherfuckers need to get off my property and leave me the fuck alone. And that was all they needed. They just picked his ass up and tossed him in the car and drove him off.
What did you say? He was safe?
He was.
At home? And they're ready to call it a night. The police were just like, well, good evening, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
He had to open up with the motherfuckers, boy. Get the fuck off my property. And would you say turn right back around, did about face?
Yeah.
Get your fucking ass in the car.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
Yeah, man. It's funny when dad gets drunk.
Yeah.
I remember my dad. I ain't got nothing like that ever happened to him. Well, when that grease got thrown on his ass, maybe that was something. But
did your mom throw grease on him? She give him the Al Green?
I never told you this.
No.
I have told you this.
I don't think so.
Jesus Christ! I thought I knew you. Yeah, I thought you knew me.
All kind of new stuff about each other
God
tonight.
Damn, man! Nah, I never told you how my mom threw grease on my dad.
I don't think so.
Man, my dad. All I remember now at the time, I don't know what happened. All I remember, I was sitting up there. We were eating dinner.
Yeah.
And I think my dad had just got through swimming or something, because he was at the table eating with no shirt on or something like that. And I remember just sitting up there and we were both just kind of eating. I remember my mom was in the kitchen and she was cleaning a lot of shit. She was being like real tight-lipped and quiet. My mom has a look on her face whenever she gets mad, like mouth just gets all kind of crazy. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I guess they just had an argument. They argued all the time.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting up there and we were watching TV, and I turned my head to see something on TV, and I heard this clang. You remember like Blondie? You remember?
Yeah.
Blondie! You remember? Or the Flintstones, Wilma!
Yeah.
And I turned around, and my mom, was a blur. She dashed out you talk about like Batman. She ran the fuck out the house. Now people heard me tell the story before because I told co-host the story. And let's do this, but if you hadn't heard it, and I turned around and my dad was sitting up there sizzling.
Oh shit!
I was like, the fuck just happened? I was like, and it didn't take me long to realize she was back there boiling grease on the fucking stove, man. And I had to ask. I mean, I didn't know what was going on, and my dad. Being a tough guy, ex-military and all that kind of shit, he tried to sit up there and be all cool about it because
was he Mr. Joshua? He just take the burning.
Man, yeah. Well, he went up, because you could hear him like he got up and he was just like, God damn it! And that skin started crackling and like baking, and she's like. And he's like, shit, So he did go in there and put something on it, but then our preacher came by.
It sounds like an episode of Good Times.
Man, it was crazy. The preacher came by and he sat up there. Okay, he didn't want to let the preacher know what just happened.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why the preacher was there, but he was sitting up there looking like Julius Caesar or something because he wrapped the towel around his burnt skin, and sat there looking all cool and shit with a towel wrapped around him. He was trying to talk to the preacher with his fucking skin over there boiling.
Regal. He had a little laurel wreath around his head.
Yeah, skin up there looking like jerky. And he's sitting up there trying to. And let me tell you something. This is gonna sound weird. I never said this, but. My dad smelled kind of good. Like, it smelled like bacon, It's like, I don't know what was in that grease, but I was like, damn, son, don't ever let us get caught up in like don't let us get caught in a snowstorm or a zombie apocalypse, because I'd eat my dad in a minute.
Prithee, my chaplain, step forward and speak to your emperor.
The sizzling, trying to be cool, talking to the preacher. I remember asking my mom, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what made you do that?
What's going on? And man, me being the youngest, apparently, and this is me as a teenager, this is doing my fajita delivery days. I was like, I can take it, whatever. And she didn't want to tell me what happened, because they didn't want me to know the dirt in the family.
Oh.
Later on in life, I find, come to find out that my dad was probably out there
creeping, had a girlfriend.
Yeah, creeping. Yeah, he was on the down low, So yeah, tomcatting, creeping, whatever you want to call it. And my mom was like, I ain't trying to hear all that. And,
damn.
Yeah, and apparently after that happened, my dad. I hear that even after that he was still creeping. So that's like, I was like, all right, shit, you better stop. Serve your ass up on a platter next.
Hot grease will make you do right.
Make you do right and make you do wrong.
Come home early.
Yeah, she put Al Green because Al Green. I was like, at least it wasn't. It wasn't an Al Green where it was grits.
Yeah,
grits
that stick to you, embed in your skin.
Embed in your skin. Yeah, she didn't get that cream of wheats man on on his ass. Yeah, man, that was some scary shit. And I was
so when your mom watches a Tyler Perry movie, like she watching Madea do shit like that, going.
That's probably why she loves that Tyler Perry shit because she was Madea back in the day. My mom didn't give a fuck. She didn't care, man. She didn't. I mean, the only thing that I saw my mom do that was kind of cool, I always thought this was cool of her, I found a gun in the house. A gun in the fucking kitchen drawer. Like it's like it's a spoon or something. It's in there with utensils and shit. I was like, it's a fucking gun, and at the time I remember like thinking, now, if this had been like a TV show, it would have been like that Alfred Hitchcock show where do you remember that Alfred Hitchcock episode where there's a kid who finds a gun and the gun has one bullet in it. Oh. And the kid keeps going around. He finds the gun. He keeps going around town pointing at people like, pew, pew.
I didn't see it, but I heard a version of it on the radio.
Yeah.